Alrighty, so welcome to the virtual college exploration for all North Carolina and South Carolina students, sponsored by the Carolinas Association of Collegiate Registrars and Admissions Officers and StriveScan. I want to thank you for joining us today. My name is Brittany and I'll be your facilitator. We have a few housekeeping rules before we get started. So you can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so panelists cannot see or hear you, okay? This is just one of the many different sessions that will be happening today, so be sure to check out the full schedule on CACRAO.org. And also, this session is being recorded, so they will be available within a week's time on the same website, CACRAO.org. I'd now like to turn it over to my presenters, so you guys can go ahead and get started, okay?
Hey everybody, let me share my screen. Awesome, so welcome to this CACRAO panel. First, just wanted to start by just telling you a little bit about honors programs. So honors colleges and honors programs are special programs within public and private institutions that include many different opportunities, supplemental or alternative curriculum and non-curriculum programs, special access, scholarships, and distinguished recognition for exceptional undergraduate scholars. So to kick it off, I will pass it off to my colleague and they'll tell you a little bit about their program.
Hey everybody, my name's Margaret Turner. I'm the Director of Admissions and Recruitment for the Honors College at East Carolina University, commonly known as ECU. And just to talk a little bit about ECU, we have about 30,000 students on campus now. We're located in Greenville, North Carolina. And we have a variety of majors and programs, including an entire health science campus and a lot of professional programs like a medical school and dental school. We have an engineering program, a great college of business, you name it, we have it. Our honors college is technically a college and we bring in 200 freshmen every year. One of the things that makes us most unique is that we offer scholarships to all 200 of our freshmen, and there on your screen you can see the breakdown of our scholarships. We bring in 20 EC scholars every year. That is our top merit scholarship that's offered at ECU. In addition to the cost of in-state tuition, our scholars receive $10,000 a year for 4 years and a one-time $5,000 study abroad stipend. Then we have 80 Chancellor's Fellows. They receive a scholarship that covers the cost of in-state tuition. And then we have 100 Centennial Fellows, and they receive a scholarship for $2,500 a year for 4 years. The scholarships are good for 8 semesters. So if you finish your undergraduate degree program in less than that, then you can apply it towards a graduate program. All righty. In addition to the scholarship, we offer a whole lot of benefits that come with being part of the Honors College. Our students do live together in a living learning community in Gateway Residence Hall. There you see at the bottom right of your screen, which is the newest residence hall on campus. We really do tout community because we feel a group of high achieving students that live in the same residence hall are able to really encourage each other, push each other in a healthy way, but just have a lot of good times. So there's a great family atmosphere. We offer a lot of community service and also living learning trips and social things to just engage students so that they become more comfortable in that community. And then other benefits that come with being part of the Honors College, we really kind of like to use the word bombard because that's kind of what it feels like to our students, but we really bombard students with a plethora of opportunities from internships, undergraduate research, study abroad, mentorship. As I mentioned, we do a lot together just as a group of students throughout the entire semesters at ECU. So a lot of opportunities for students to really add things to their resume and help them reach their academic goals while they're there at ECU to help make you competitive for what's ever after your undergraduate opportunities. How to apply? You just have to apply to ECU before November 25th. Have a 3.5 unweighted or 4.0 weighted GPA. After you meet this requirement and you're accepted to ECU, you're invited to apply to the Honors College if you meet those minimum requirements. We are test optional this year, so we're not requiring any test scores. You complete the Honors College and EC Scholars application by December 16th, and then we make our notifications by the end of January. You can email me. There's my email address, turnerm@ecu, for any more information. Thank you so much.
Okay. Now I would like to just chat a little bit about the honors program at Georgia Southern University. So the honors program is more just of an enhanced educational experience for students in the program. The honors courses, they do have smaller class sizes. You have your honors classes mixed in with your regular curriculum classes. So you're not taking a full load of honors courses each semester. It's kind of a mixture between your honors courses and your regular courses. A common question from our students is, are honors courses harder? Not necessarily. It's just a different approach at getting to the same end goal. So one example we like to give is a chemistry equation. You're going to have the same end goal between an honors course and a regular chemistry course. Your approach just might look a little different. So group activity to get to that end goal, a research hands-on opportunity. So the courses aren't necessarily harder, it's just a different way of learning. So experiential learning, this is a requirement for students within our honors program. There are many different ways to receive your experiential learning hours. So we have students do academic ways, so research, if you want to do a teaching assistant way to get hours, service learning and volunteering, so helping out with your local community here in Statesboro or our Savannah location campus. And then just leadership opportunities. So if you hold a leadership role throughout campus, that's another awesome way to get that experiential learning hour. One example is our honors ambassadors. So these students are leaders within the honors program, and they help out with recruitment opportunities and just making sure that the honors program is running smoothly, and just with mentoring our freshman students as well. So these are upperclassmen that help guide our freshmen through their first year. And then our study abroad and alternative break trips. So study abroad, each year our honors program, they take a trip to Ireland. Unfortunately, they can't go this year, but hopefully next year they'll be able to pick back up where they left off. Fun fact, Savannah, which is an hour from our Statesboro campus, and then we also have a campus in Savannah. It used to be a hub for migration from Ireland. So we have a large Ireland community in Savannah. We actually also have the second largest St. Patrick's Day celebration in Savannah. So our honors program started to do research on why Savannah was picked as the hot spot for migration. And so they go to Ireland every year to do research there and study more about why people chose to come to Savannah, which is really cool. And then our alternative break trips. So one trip that our students take is to Camp Blue Sky. So this is an opportunity for students to go and volunteer as cabin counselors or activity leaders at a camp for adults with cognitive disabilities. So it's just a great way during like spring break or any of our breaks to get off campus and grow and learn with other people within the honors program. Our research opportunities, I hit on that just a minute ago with our study abroad, but we also offer tons of research opportunities within campus. And we also have living and learning communities as well. So these are sections of our residence halls on both our Statesboro and Savannah campus where all of our honors students can live together. One of my students recently told me that she loved it because she could walk next door and knock on someone's door and be like, hey, you want to start a study group? Because they're all in a lot of the same classes. And there's also study rooms and computer labs all throughout the community as well. And then to chat about how to apply, so our honors program application is actually built in within our scholarship application. So once you apply for scholarships, you can also apply to the honors program. Once you apply for Georgia Southern, the next day you can go ahead and apply for scholarships. And that one scholarship application puts you in the running for not only honors program scholarships, but also all incoming student scholarships. So you can stack scholarships as well. We are test optional this year, so scholarships, you don't have to turn in your SAT or ACT scores. We're looking at it as a holistic review, so we're reviewing your whole scholarship application. And then the deadline for that is February 1st, so you'll just want to make sure that you're accepted into Georgia Southern and complete that scholarship application before February 1st to be considered for not only the honors program, but also for scholarships. So thank you all for listening, and I'll pass it off to our next.
Hi everyone, my name is Jessie Haynes and I'm the Assistant Director of Undergraduate Admission at Lenore-Ryan University. A little bit of quick background, we are a small private liberal arts institution located in Hickory, North Carolina. So we're kind of right between Asheville, Boone, and the Charlotte area, so we're in a really great location. We have about 1,500 undergraduate students, and average class size is going to be around 17 students with a 13-to-1 student to faculty ratio. We have a little bit of a different structure than the two previous presenters have mentioned, so I'll touch on that. We have what we call opportunities for enhanced learning. This consists of a variety of programs that kind of all focus on a different area. So we have the Honors Academy, which is really based on scholarship and academic excellence. We have the Engaged Scholars program, which really focuses on campus and community engagement, so service learning, experiential learning, things of that nature. We have the Teaching Scholars program, which is specific to our education majors. North Carolina used to have the Teaching Fellows program, which offered students seeking an education degree a large scholarship, and as that phased out, we kind of saw the need in our local community for more teachers. So we integrated the Teaching Scholars program into our opportunities to enhance learning, and that is for K-12 education. So you don't have to be elementary, middle grades, or high school. It can be any of those that can qualify. And then we have the Lineberger Fellows, which really focuses on postgraduate opportunities, so research opportunities, internship opportunities to prepare you for graduate level work, for pre-professional opportunities, or really anything. We have a variety of majors in all of these programs except for Teaching Scholars. And so they really kind of just focus on different things to help students build on their strengths while they're here. You can go to the next slide, Macy. So the benefits of being involved, this is kind of just collective from all of the different programs. Each program kind of has its own description, and that is on our website on the next slide. So I encourage you to visit that and kind of explore each opportunity, as they are also different. But overall, preparation for graduate level work and research, that's incorporated into all of the programs, whether that's resume building, you're building professional portfolios, you gain recognition, you might be a part of an honor society that's tied to something, or you get a distinction at graduation that you were a member of these programs. So they all come along with kind of those next step things that help you get to the next step, whatever that might be. Community of peers and an inclusive environment. Our students do not live together their freshman year. We want those students integrated in with our communities, but they're also, partaking in social events, retreats, things of that nature with their respective groups. And then there's opportunities for the upperclassmen in the Honors Academy and a couple other programs to live together to kind of build that. But there is still a strong sense of community there. Study abroad opportunities. I think each program has its own study abroad opportunity each year. Obviously, last semester and this semester, those are a bit impacted, but we hope to return back to normal in the near future and get students back on these trips, as they're kind of a really big part of our liberal arts foundation and something that the students really look forward to as being a part of those groups. But they're also invited to participate in any other study abroad opportunities that we have, as well as if you're a Lineberger Fellow and you want to go on the Engaged Scholars trip, that's absolutely something that you can explore. Community service. So our community is very involved here on our campus, and all of our students are involved out in the community as well. But having students in these programs be out in the community is something that's really important to our opportunities for enhanced learning. I mentioned retreats and social gatherings earlier, as well as professional portfolios, recognition and distinction, and then also just the advising and mentorship. So all of our students or all of our programs use a faculty advising model. So you have a faculty member in your area of study that serves as your advisor. But within these programs, you just kind of have an added layer of advising and mentorship that's added to your student experience. And then how to get involved. So you can research the various opportunities there at that link. You can apply, obviously, to be admitted to Lenoir-Rhyne. You have to be admitted to the school before you can apply to these additional programs. Most of these decisions are made through Scholarship Day, which is an invitation-only event for our early and priority notification students. So our priority deadline is coming up soon here in a week or so, and then our early notification deadline is November 13th. So both of those are non-binding deadlines. We do encourage you to apply early if you're interested in being a part of these programs, as those are the only students considered for Scholarship Day. And then you can apply outside of Scholarship Day, but typically the spaces are filled up and the programs get full just from our Scholarship Day applicants. On the webpage that's linked there, you can find program directors and program coordinators for each program. It's always helpful to reach out to them. They love to connect with prospective students, get to know you all, to share a little bit more about their individual programs and even connect you with some current students so that you can learn more and kind of get both the faculty members experience and the student experience there. If we can help in any way, please reach out to our Office of Admission. We're happy to kind of help you make that connection if you struggle to find anything, as well as our enrollment counselors are listed on the website along with my information as well. So thanks for joining us today, guys.
Perfect. So my name is Jasmine. I work as a Senior Assistant Director of Admissions at Queen's University of Charlotte. We are located in Charlotte, North Carolina. We are a private comprehensive university. We have about 2,500 students on our campus offering programs in a number of different academic disciplines. And I'm excited that y'all are here joining us today. I recognize that we might have students, families, or college counselors on the session. So I'm just thankful that you took some time out of your afternoon to spend with us here. So being a smaller college at Queens, some of the cool things about being a smaller institution is that we're able to offer some of these enhanced learning programs to all of our students, and an honors program is just one facet of that. So I recognize that if you're interested in any sort of honors program, if you're on this session right now, you're probably a high achieving student. You probably care about enhanced learning opportunities, involving yourself in a rigorous curriculum and those sorts of things. So I put on this slide just a couple of pictures and bullets here about things that we offer at Queens. Obviously, I want to focus on the prior honors program at Queens, but we also have things like our Critical Thought Symposium, which is a simulation course that students can take after their freshman year. It comes along with an annual scholarship, and you'd meet each month to do a different simulation with your peers. So one month you might be simulating the Cuban Missile Crisis, and the next month you might be simulating a research experiment with your professors and your students and learning in that experiential way. We have a lot of competitive merit scholarships. Again, if you're on this info session, you likely are a high achieving student. You probably, enroll yourself in honors or upper level courses, and you're involved in your community. You write strong essays. Those are the type of students that we're looking for at Queens to offer competitive merit scholarships to. And you should apply by December 1st to be eligible for any of those. And then just again, to reiterate this idea that all of our students, regardless of if you're honors or not, have opportunities in internship fields, study abroad opportunities, and research opportunities. 100% of our students at Queens complete internships as a part of our curriculum requirements. So as a Queens grad, you will have internship experience. You also will likely have a study abroad experience. We cover the cost of an international experience for all of our students. So you will have the opportunity to travel without having to worry about the financial burden of that. You see some of our students down there in South Africa on a safari adventure. And then you likely will be involving yourself in some sort of research opportunities, regardless of what field you're in. So it's a little bit on the prior honors program. If Macy, you can click over to that next slide. Thank you so much. These are all Queen's students here in the top right-hand the students on some, doing some science stuff there that I'm not super great at. I'm a social scientist, but Chioma is one of our graduates down there in the bottom right-hand corner. She's doing some research at the University of Michigan for a summer program that she was accepted to. And then you have in the bottom left-hand corner, Milan, who is one of our international students studying engineering, who is doing some work in the lab there. So at Queens, similar to what Jesse mentioned, I think about Lenore Ryan, and Macy mentioned this too, is that maybe you don't have as many classes, adding to your course load, but you're diving deeper into your area, whether that's in science, whether it's in languages, whether it's in education or business, you're diving more into those topics. You have a hands-on and personal approach to your educational experience. So our professors at Queens are not involving themselves in other activities that are taking away from their teaching of your experience, right? We don't have teacher's assistant, we don't have grad assistants. Being a smaller institution, you're gonna learn from full-time faculty who are experts in their field. You're gonna work just like our student here at the top right-hand corner is working with Dr. Thomas right there together in a really personalized way. You should also know that as an honors student at Queens, you have the opportunity to live in our honors residence hall, Hayes Hall. So whether you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior, you can choose to live in the honors residence hall, which kind of gives you that community feel. All of our students really get that in the residence halls, but to be in the residence hall with people that you're probably taking classes with, I think was mentioned earlier by one of our other colleagues here, but being able to walk down the hallway and say, hey, what did you think about that exam? Or do you want to practice for that presentation that we have coming up? You would have that option at Queens. I think the next slide talks a little bit about the application process for the prior honors program. But we take a very holistic approach to all of our admissions applications. So if you're just applying for admission at Queens, we do require obviously the application, which has an essay, extracurricular involvement. We are a test optional institution. We care about letters of recommendation and all of those things. After you have applied to the admissions office at Queens, which also considers you for all scholarship opportunities. We do not have a separate scholarship application. You are eligible for all merit scholarship just by applying to Queens by December 1st. If you're a senior right now, by December 1st. But once you apply to our admissions office, you will have access to our essay-based honors application. Some students who have a certain GPA or receive a certain evaluation on their admissions application will get invited to apply to the honors program, but any student is welcome to apply using that essay-based application. And again, after you complete your admissions application, you can do that. You'll be notified. We typically notify our students by the end of February, so you do need to get your admissions application in early by that December 1st deadline so that you can be eligible. If you have any specific questions about the honors program at Queens, I put some contact information there on the screen. That's Dr. Amy Knob. She is a professor in our kinesiology department at Queens and is the director of our prior honors program. She'd be happy to speak with you about the opportunities that you'll have at Queens. And of course, a beautiful picture there of our campus with the Charlotte skyline about 2 miles from our campus. So I appreciate you guys again being on here, and we're excited to chat with more with you in the question box.
Good afternoon. My name is Adam Ray, and I am an assistant director in our undergraduate admissions office at Western Carolina University. I'm thankful to have the opportunity to chat with you all briefly about the Brinson Honors College at Western Carolina. So recently, our Honors College actually went through a renaming due to the generosity of some donors, and so we are now referring to that particular program as the Brinson Honor College. Western Carolina University is a public university located in Western North Carolina. We're a member of the University of North Carolina system. The Brinson Honors College is actually the first and one of the largest residential honors programs in the University of North Carolina system. It houses 1,300 plus students. It has actually placed in the top 10 in national undergraduate research. I actually graduated from the Honors College at Western Carolina, so I'll be weaving in some personal experiences in my segment of the presentation. And to touch on this piece, There is a national conference that occurs every year, with the exception of this past year, known as the National Conference on Undergraduate Research. And Western has placed in the top 10% for that particular event in terms of representation for the past decade and more. And so my two experiences that I've decided to link, or I've linked with that particular opportunity, is traveling to Utah to present undergraduate research, as well as Wisconsin. And I had funding from the Honors College for both of those particular opportunities. And so it's an interdisciplinary conference, an undergraduate research opportunity that our Honors College works very closely with our undergraduate research office for. The average class size for honors-related classes, and that is a requirement for our particular Honors College environment. An applicant or a student in that college must complete 24 honors hours before graduating with a distinction. And you're placed in a course every single semester. The average class size sits at 26 students. One of the benefits of being involved with the Honors College is priority registration. And what that means is you, as an Honors College student, have access to the next semester's course offerings before any other student who is not affiliated with the Honors College, regardless of their class standing. So you, for example, as a current sophomore at Western, could have access to will have access to the schedule as an Honors College student before a senior who is not affiliated with it, or a rising senior in that sense. There are specific scholarship items linked with the Honors College. There are merit-based opportunities, and they are in addition to the scholarships we offer as an institution. That is a separate application that we do require to be considered for those particular items. So you would need to fill that out in addition to the undergraduate piece. But if you want to be a part of that particular selection process, I'll be speaking more about how you can do that to be considered for the Honors College, but there are additional funding resources that you could potentially receive. Honors College students have access to an exclusive residence hall option. It's called Balsam Residence Hall. This is where I lived as an undergraduate student for 4.5 years. I was also employed there as a resident assistant. So I basically got paid to live in that particular building. And in the picture, it's the one that you see right in the forefront. It is the most centrally located residence hall as well. It sits right next to one of our dining halls on campus. You can see the campus recreation center from really any of the windows that you can see in the picture. And our student union is also right next door to the campus recreation center. So in terms of location, you can't beat it. There are single and double suite room setups in that particular residence hall. So just keep that in mind. The Honors Board is the student group that they do the planning for the social events and the not fundraising, but the community service initiatives that the Honors College orchestrates. And so that is a student-led group that works closely with our dean of the Honors College and other faculty and staff on campus to have those opportunities for students. And so that's the end of this particular slide. This next slide, as I mentioned, is going to cover the admissions process for the Honors College. One of the things that I would like to showcase is the medallion that our Honors College graduates receive once they finish their 24 hours and then, of course, earn their degree. You are actually you're bestowed this medallion that you can wear at your graduation ceremony, and you are the very front of the ceremony in and of itself. So you actually get to graduate before anybody else does, which that's huge. That's big in my opinion. You get to walk across stage and you're done with it. So our Honors College publishes a magazine every single year. This is the most recent copy or cover I could actually acquire. And so that is contributed across campus from students and faculty and staff. Now going into the details of admission, you first must be accepted to Western Carolina University before you can be considered for Honors College admission. If you are applying as a first-year freshman applicant, you do not need to fill out an additional application. Your application to the institution is the application to the Honors College, technically. However, you do need to meet at least one of the criteria for consideration. Now, this year is different than in previous years, and the criteria that is listed right here is, like I said, relevant for this current application cycle. Right now, there's a weighted GPA minimum of a 4.2, an unweighted GPA minimum of a 3.8, and if applicable, the high school class rank in the top 10%. There was once, or well, in previous years, a test score requirement. However, due to the ongoing pandemic, we as a system school are actually practicing a test flexible approach. And basically what that means is if we can admit you to the institution based on your high school academic grade patterns and GPA, then we may not resort to consider or looking at your test score. And so the Honors College has adopted that practice as well. If, for example, some of you are benefiting from an early college atmosphere and you are looking to transfer to Western, as you will have that option to choose between the two, it will require an additional application. And for example, if you are, say you do come to Western and you would like to be a part of this process or the program and you were unable to get in your first go round, you can apply as a current student. And the emphasis of the review of the application will then be based on your college work. And the 3.5 minimum is the benchmark for consideration on at least 15 hours. Just real quick, some of the highlights just of my experience with the Honors College. Of course, I mentioned undergraduate research, and having that opportunity, you can't really put it into words. It was just lived experience that I will forever remember and have benefited from in many different ways. But it's the atmosphere at the end of the day that really caught my attention and made me want to be a part of that particular opportunity. And if I could do it over again, I would do it in a heartbeat. So that's the end of the content piece from all of us. And so now we would transition over to Q&A. So if you guys have any questions about any particular institution and their honors offerings or high achieving offerings, I'm sure we'd be happy to answer them. So there's the first question is relevant to Western, so I'll go ahead and just take it. Does WSU have early admission? We do in fact have early admission, and we are in that process right now. And so basically our early action deadline is November the 15th. Our early action application is referred to as the Chancellor's Choice application, and it is actually the application you'll find on our website right now. So if you got an email about it, perfect, utilize that link. If you did not and you still want to benefit from that, you can by going to our apply.wcu.ecu website. And like I said, it has a November 15th deadline. We are rolling admissions, so we have already started the review of our applications and have been rendering decisions on applicants at this time.
I will take the next question. So our Savannah location for Georgia Southern is very close to the coast. So it's probably about 15-minute to 20-minute drive to the beach, depending on traffic. One really awesome benefit of being so close to the beach, especially if you're interested in marine biology, is they are able to do a lot of research and hands-on opportunity since they are so close to the coast. One of our marine biology professors actually lives on a boat out in the ocean because they're so close. That's pretty cool.
There was a question, I think, probably for any of us could answer about dual enrollment. It says for a student with a large amount of dual enrollment credits would being in an honors program force that student to retake some courses, potentially delay the student's graduation because of newly required courses. I can speak for my institution, and then if anybody else wants to tack on there, but certainly being in a dual enrolled program rigor, and that's something that we care about at Queens. I think for many of our institutions, while you'll have some additional required courses as an honors student, bringing in dual credits would never slow you down, actually would speed things up probably for you because you're placing out of other required courses. I think it's always a good thing to look like, but it certainly wouldn't slow you down or force you to retake any courses at my institution.
I would echo that. I think that's probably the case for most. We do encourage early college students or dual enrollment students to still apply as a freshman because they can bring obviously all those credits with them. And some students do figure out that they don't really want to rush it as much as they think they do once they get to their undergraduate experience and really are able to take advantage of study abroad or internships or research that you've heard all of us mention today. So we don't necessarily push students to finish early, but they certainly have that capability, and no honors requirements really slow that down. Our scholarships are actually good, as I mentioned, for 8 semesters. So if students do finish early, they can use that scholarship towards a graduate program, which is nice as well. But I don't think it really would slow you down at all.
Yeah, I saw that a question came through for Lenore Ryan about when to apply and kind of how that process works. So our first round of decisions are made through that invitation only scholarship day event. However, each program kind of has a different way to apply for it outside of scholarship day if their seats aren't full and whatnot there. So I recommend looking at that website for the opportunities for enhanced learning on our website, and then you can see who the program contact is. It's Dr. Michael Stiff, and you can reach out to him even before scholarship day to say, hey, I'm really interested in this. I think that's a great way to get on their radar. That way it's a familiar name if you are invited to scholarship day, and then if not, you can continue to kind of look into that after the fact. But yeah, that's an excellent way to kind of get started. But the first step would be to reach out to that faculty contact that's listed on that page on our website.
As far as the GPA question, I think honestly, I'm not sure if we know the answer to that 100%. I mean, I think I can speak for our own program. Most likely our GPA requirement would not change for next year. Whether or not we're test optional, we've not made that decision yet. So that is definitely still up in the air. We're going to kind of see how admissions goes for this year. But our GPA requirements would most likely stay the same. I don't know if anyone else wants to answer for their institution.
Our GPA requirement hasn't changed for the upcoming year, but we did go test optional this year just because those tests haven't been offered. But for us, the GPA has stayed the same.
We do not have a GPA minimum, so that would not be applicable. We consider all of the other factors as well as the GPA.
I would echo what Margaret said, just given that she and I are both working at UNC system schools. I don't foresee the Honors College changing in terms of GPA requirements. But those requirements, if you weren't able to kind of identify that factor, are vastly different than the general undergraduate admissions process. So just keep that in mind.
It looks like we had a question come through for does the Honors College help with pre-med pathways? There wasn't a specific one of us identified there. So I will say that ours, we don't have a specific opportunity for our pre-med students, but it's kind of encompassed into all of those other opportunities. So all the same things with the distinctions and things that you receive upon graduation, and the portfolios that you build throughout, whether that's research-based or, writing-based or whatever that looks like for, what you want to do next. Those are great opportunities to build on that over the course of 4 years and not feel like you have to pack everything in your junior and senior year to look good on your med school applications. So I'll let my colleagues kind of contribute to that as it pertains to their individual institutions, but the short answer is yes.
I would definitely agree. ECU does have a medical school, and I believe being part of the Honors College certainly is beneficial. I think just the opportunities that we've all mentioned also can aid in your being more competitive. We even have what's called early assurance to our Brody School of Medicine that's offered at ECU. And if you're eligible to apply to the Honors College, you're also eligible to apply for early assurance. We give 4 students what we call early assurance scholars, and they basically, if they're selected, they have a guaranteed spot to our Brody School of Medicine as an incoming freshman to ECU. They don't even have to take the MCAT, so that spot is guaranteed. It's not binding, however, because students do change their mind, but that is an additional part of our Honors College application if anyone's interested in that. We also have that for physical therapy, for audiology, and for nursing as well.
To add a little bit on top of that, relevant to Western, we have a pre-med pathway. We do not have a medical school though, but if you are admitted into the Honors College, you will have an advisor in the Honors College. You'll have a general academic advisor for a pre-med pathway, and then you will also have a departmental advisor based on the major you choose, aligning that with the pre-med approach. So you'll have at least three resources that you could go to in terms of here at Western. But yes, the Honors College can help guide one through the pre-med pathway at Western.
Macy, I don't know if you wanted to talk on pre-med. I was going to touch a little bit on a couple of other questions that were asked about kind of interdisciplinary interests, but I didn't want to cut you off, Macy.
Yeah, pretty much just echoing kind of what everyone else is saying. When you're a part of the honors program, you do have an honors advisor. And then if you pick up a pre-med track, you will have a pre-med advisor to make sure that you're staying on track with that program as well. So your advisors would work together to make sure that you're on the right track. So yeah, the honors program would definitely help along with your pre-med track.
Yeah, I would echo everything that's been said. There was a couple of questions that I think can kind of be combined a little bit, but we had a student who expressed an interest in majoring in history and doing research in that department, understanding that you'd have to get approved with the professor, but could I research a topic in history that isn't necessarily related to current course offerings? And then similarly, I think was a question about, can you mix interdisciplinary interests in honors research or research in general? I think I can speak kind of broadly for most of us in saying that anything you want to research, even if it's not offered in a certain course, is available to you as you express interest to professors. I think professors are always up for something new and fresh and something that's not been done before maybe, or being taught that semester. So you can absolutely explore other options that aren't being offered. I think a benefit to being at Queens and to some of the schools that are liberal arts focused, that you can very much be interdisciplinary in your interests, particularly for research purposes. Maybe you're interested in science and art, or maybe international affairs and business, and you can blend all of those things at Queens and at many of these institutions as well. So nobody's going to tell you research chemistry. You can go out and kind of explore all of the things that you like.
Real quick, because I know we have less than 3 minutes. The question about majoring in history and wanting to do research, the answer I'm going to give you is I live that answer. So I was a history major at Western, and I presented undergraduate research through the National Conference on Undergraduate Research, which was supported by the Honors College, for me at least. And so I, at the time, was not intrinsically enrolled in a European history class, but I had finished a paper for a class in a previous semester that was focused on German troop morale during World War II, and had it accepted at the National Conference on Undergraduate Research, which is interdisciplinary. And so I was in a room full of science majors presenting that particular paper, and I had no clue what they were talking about, and they really didn't understand what I was talking about. So yes, it can be done, and it's incredibly rewarding.
Any final questions from anybody before we have to jump off of here right on time? Okay. I'll just say thanks for all of us. I don't know if anybody's going to jump on there, but thanks for attending this panel and letting us talk with you a little bit, and hope to see some of y'all's faces on campus soon.
Thank you all. Appreciate
Thank you everybody for joining.
Everybody for joining us.
Thank you for joining. I was typing, sorry. I was putting my contact information into the student who was asking about history. Sorry.
Good.
All righty. So I just wanted to come back on and say thank you for joining us today. When you close this window itself, there will be a link for you to basically check out and do a 4-question survey. We really appreciate any feedback that you can provide. Also, this was just another session that's being hosted. Be sure to sign up for additional this week on CACRAO.org. And in about a week, if you would like to see this recording, you are able to on CACRAO.org as well. Thank you for joining us, everyone.